Hare Krishna. So today we were reading. Previously we were reading about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we had already covered till the introduction part, and now we would start from chapter one with commentaries of Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu. Now, now we were starting with the chapter one. So let's start with the Mangalacharan of before starting the chapter. ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ श्रीपरमात्मने नमः अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः अर्जुनविषादयोगः धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत Sanjaya. So here Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, what did my son and the son of Pandu gather desirous of fighting at Kurukshetra, the place of dharma? So Dhritarashtra said here like that. The sage in the first chapter, so I am not explaining shlok each word by word in the shlok because in the initial chapters many of us have or many of us already know the translation and the shloka. So we are putting more pressure on the commentary of Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu. So the sage in the first chapter, who is the sage? So it is none other than Vyasdev, who composes all the scriptures. Chapter of the Gita has revealed events related to the conversation which took place between Arjuna and Krishna at the beginning of the war. The intention of the narration is to praise the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. So it does nothing but sets the scene for the upcoming Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, for the next 27 verses, the description of the preparatory phase runs through. So knowing that Krishna was accompanying Arjuna as his driver, Dhritarashtra, doubting the victory of his own son, questioned Sanjay. So why Dhritarashtra doubted the victory of his own son? We would read it later. Actually, Vaishampayana Muni is relating everything to Janmejaya. So what did my sons and Pandavas do gathered together at Kurukshetra deciding to fight? So the normal logic would be that Dhritarashtra already said that they gathered to fight, so they will certainly fight. What is your intention is asking again what they did? So that's a very logical question, that they have gathered to fight and you have only said it, and so they will certainly fight. So what is your intention on asking again about the incident? So this is happening at Kurukshetra, which is a dharma kshetra, a place of dharma, which means place of dharma. Kurukshetra means the place of Lord Kuru, of God, King Kuru. The Shruti says, Yadanu Kurukshetram Devanam Deva Yajanam Sarvesham Bhutanam Brahma Sadanam. So here, if we say that Yadanu, here we can say that Yad Anu Kurukshetram Devanam Deva Yajanam Sarvesham Bhutanam Brahma Sadanam. Kurukshetra is a place for sacrifice to the Devata. Okay, is a place for sacrifice or yajna to the Devata by those who are like the Devas. Okay, so here it is says that the Brahmana or the Kshatriya or the Vaishya who rather let's write it like this, that the Varna or people who contribute to the yagya or to the devatas, so they already have the qualification, of the devas, because they have divine or divine qualities in them which makes them suitable to be called as deva. So it is the abode of Brahman for all living beings. Okay, it is stated in the Javala Upanishad. From this we understand that it has become a famous as a place for increasing dharma. Okay, so the Kurukshetra Bhumi is famous for increasing dharma. Under its influence, will my son give up their animosity or enmity, and give the kingdom to the Pandava? Give the kingdom to the Pandava. So Dhritarashtra is thinking that with the influence of a dharma kshetra, will my son give up their animosity and give the kingdom to Pandava? So Dhritarashtra is thinking about that. Or there is another probability that he is thinking that the Pandava, who are always following dharma, consider at this place of dharma, by the more influence of this place, they might think that it is best to go to the forest out of fear of committing adharma. They are not fear of getting killed by the Kauravas, but they are in fear of committing adharma due to the killing of their own relatives. So therefore in the okay, so it has already said that in the form of destruction of family tradition by fighting. O Sanjaya, destroyer. So Sanjaya means who is Sanjaya, destroyer. So Sanjaya, it kind of means like this, I guess. So in Sanskrit, Sanjaya, by the mercy of Vyasadev, you have destroyed all attraction and repulsion within yourself. Okay. So Sanjaya means destroyer, and by the mercy of Vyasadev, you have destroyed all attraction and repulsion. That means he is Nirapeksha. Therefore, you should speak the truth to me. That means he is non-biased. He is neutral or Nirapeksha. By not mentioning that Pandava were also his relative and mentioning only his son as his own. So, by mentioning that the Pandava were also his relative and mentioning only his sons as his own Mamaka, he revealed his hatred for them. So that's important, that by not mentioning Pandava, also his relative, so he considers that the sons of his uh, smaller younger brother Pandu, that is the Pandavas, he doesn't consider to be his own sons. So therefore, and he considers Only Kauravas has his own son, because by the terminology of Mamaka, we can understand this. He revealed his hatred for them. In a field of grains, the weed which looks similar. So it states that in a field of grain, the weeds which look similar to the grain but are obstacle to their growth are eventually pulled out. Similarly, at the field of dharma, your sons who are but imitations of dharma and opposite of dharma will also be destroyed. This is unintentional hidden meaning of the word dharma kshetra, uttered by Dhritarashtra himself by the grace of Saraswati Devi. So it's very important that it's an analogy given here, that in the uh, field of suppose grains, there are many weeds which grow, which look similar like the grain, but they are actually prevents the growth of the plant, and therefore it should be plucked out. Similarly, at the field of dharma, your sons, that means Dhritarashtra's sons or Kauravas, are nothing but imitations of dharma, because they are just their names, like Duryodhan. Duryodhan, actually his name was Suyodhan. So Duryodhan, which means who is a bad fighter, or who is bad for those who are against dharma. But actually, by the work of goddess Saraswati, it had changed the meaning. Then Dushashan. Dushashan means the one who is against the person who is a bad ruler. But actually, due to his behavior, the meaning became that one who is a bad ruler. So thus they are nothing but the imitations of dharma and opposer of dharma will also be destroyed, just like the weeds in a field of grain. And who is going to pluck out those weeds? Like normally Mali plucks out weed from the field of grains, but in here, in the field of dharma, in the in the dharma kshetra, the father of dharma, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, will pluck out all of these imitators and opposers of dharma like Kauravas. So this is unintentional and hidden meaning of the word dharma kshetra. So this is unintentional and hidden meaning of the word dharma kshetra, uttered by Dhritarashtra himself by the grace of Saraswati, skillful in use of words. So therefore, by the grace of Saraswati in the tongue of Dhritarashtra, he just she just tweaked the words and made Dhritarashtra utter those. So we have read till this, and today's date is 21/12/24, and we would read shloka number 2 in the next session. Hare Krishna.